Om Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to another Yoga Small Talk, and we continue with 7 minutes Bhagavad Gita a day. We are reading from chapter 6, the Yoga of Meditation, and we read about the characteristics of a person who is established in the highest form of meditation, which actually brings this person to the highest form of knowledge. So this is a person who is established in the highest knowledge. And we saw in verse 8 that such person has this equal vision when it comes to objects. So we said, for this person, a clod of earth, a piece of stone, and gold are the same. And we said that the fact that he sees all of them as expressions of the Supreme or as an illusion, it depends how you want to present it, then this doesn't mean that this person will treat them the same. But now comes verse 9, and it says, he who is of the same mind to the good-hearted, friends, enemies, the indifferent, the neutral, the hateful, the relatives, the righteous, and the unrighteous excels. So, one might ask, why say it in 2 verses? Why not say just he's the same to everything and everybody? Why first discuss objects, material objects, and then discuss people? And one of the beautiful answers I've heard for this by Swami Swarupananda is that relationships are much, much more difficult. We can, to some extent, renounce possessions. And many people who go on the spiritual path, even when they start, to some extent, they renounce possession. They start practicing Swami Shivananda's teaching, simple living, high thinking, and start dropping things that do not correspond to the concept of simple living, which will bring to high thinking. Some yes, some no, but let's say some yes. So parting with some possessions, parting with the idea of making the increase of wealth, financial wealth, property, etc., the goal of one's life, is something that people are more open to in relatively early stages of the spiritual path. But when it comes to relationships, it's much, much harder. And Swami Swarupananda explains that we grow spiritually through relationships. We received this human body to grow through relationships. And relationships mirror to us the things that we need to work on in the best way. So usually when a person upsets us, we just say this person is annoying, and either we try to keep our distance, or in other cases some people will try to take revenge. Let's say this is one state of affairs and it's fairly common. Now a person starts treading the spiritual path and wants to practice a little bit more friendliness, how to cultivate virtues and eradicate vices. We've discussed this when we were studying verses 5 and 6. Want to become more virtuous. So overcoming anger, cultivating friendliness, compassion, etc. And on another level, one might see people and situations as karmic agents, as God's gift for us to see where we need to grow, where we need to learn. For instance, there was a very beautiful teaching of Swami Swarupananda. If we feel that people have unjust expectations and angers towards us, we should ask ourselves what kind of expectations and feelings we have towards others. So this will give us the karmic context of what's going on. But really, relationships are very, very, very difficult. It's much easier to be compassionate with a kitten, let's say, than with a person, an adult, whom we consider to some extent hostile, right? We all know that. As we said, it's easier to give some material object, like to give some money in charity, than to give our time, or to give our emotions, or to give our compassion, or to give our forgiveness. Relationships pose bigger issues for us, but there are also much greater opportunities for us to learn. And when we start cultivating this vision, okay, this person who has brought this upsetting situation to me is a karmic agent. He's teaching me. So he's God sent. And we start practicing it like this. Okay, how can I learn? How can I adjust? Of course, it doesn't mean that we need to constantly expose ourselves to anger and, abusive behavior. Of course not. But can we take care of ourselves without being angry? And then can we transcend? Can we be genuinely compassionate with this person? Like Swami Shivananda, who said, a person who was trying to murder him, he said, God came to me in the form of this assailant. He saw it. Everything is God. So this is the complete equal vision. And this is how we learn through relationship. First, they teach us how to cultivate our virtues and eradicate our vices by confronting us with situations. Then we start seeing the karmic agency, and then we start seeing how everything is the mercy and the compassion of God for us to learn the lessons that we need and progress spiritually. So this is one very beautiful explanation that I heard about why those two topics are separated. And with this, we pretty much conclude the description of the realized person, of the accomplished person for now. And we move to the sadhana. And this we will see in the next verses. So please join us. Om Shanti.